Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me stick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you're old. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard. I just go hard. And I'm a kind of fella. You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. Ride along. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Tuesday on the ride. Yes. It's Tuesday. You guys have to be excited. You guys have to be excited. I know there's a lot happening in the world. I know there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
They don't send you bonkers, right? But you have to take every moment that you could. Just be happy, man. Listen, you get up this morning, right? You're breathing, right? Be thankful and happy. All right? Okay? All right. I want to see some excitement, God damn it. Come on, show me some excitement. Let's start over again. What's up, everybody? Everybody show some excitement. Press love. Everybody press love. Press the love button and share it. Share the program. Let me see who's already on the inside. Hey, Natasha. What's up, Natasha? How the hell are you doing, Natasha? Hope you're doing fine. Sis Morel, how are you doing? Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, we have a guest on the program. You guys haven't seen her yet, eh? You guys not seen her yet, but I'm going to introduce you to her in a short while, right? But for right now, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want everybody that's watching right now to do me a favor. I want everybody to share this program on their page, and I'm going to do the same thing as well. I'm not asking you to do something that I'm not doing. I'm going to share it too. I'm going to share it. You're going to share it. I'm going to share it. All right? So, Judith, I want you to share it. Share it on your page. If you share it already, share it again. Because the program today is you have to be a part of this discussion and hear what this lady have to say. Let me share it. 1, 2, 3, 1, them, bam. And I was saying yesterday, you know, I got a notification from Facebook yesterday evening or so, stating that for some reason our page has been some sanction or something. I don't know what I do Facebook. Trust me, I haven't done anything, but it's like they're really taking advantage of me, guys, of us here on Ride Along. So we got this notification saying that some content that we posted was in violation, and we don't preach or we don't post nothing here of violence at all. So to how and why and when and where Facebook started to sanction us, I don't know. So a lot of your friends did not get notification today, simply because Facebook giving us a whole month of like this sanction. God knows why. So I'm relying on all you guys right now. I'm relying on everybody to do this for me. I'm relying on everybody to share this program on their page right now. I'm relying on everybody to share this program on their page right now. Put it on your page right now. Hey, welcome, Gail. How you doing? Sister, how you doing? I want everybody to put it on the page. As soon as you put it on your page, I want you to say, I share. As soon as you put it on your page, I want you to say, I share. Gail, I see you. Colleen, I see you. Thank you so much. June, Noel, how you doing? Hi out to all the riders. How you guys doing? Everybody put it on your page and say I share. Everybody put this program on your page right now and say I share. Facebook could do whatever they want, but they can't stop the riders. All right. Facebook could do whatever they want, but they can't stop the riders. Boss lady, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. Stand by for a second, okay?
Okay, I don't know what's going on with the internet, but it's good now.
Okay, all right. Stand by.
Yeah.
So I don't care what Facebook or platforms trying to muzzle the program in some kind of way, but we go show that we could do our thing still. All right. We could show that everyone have a story to tell, and that's what we are going to do. We don't violate anyone. We help people, but this happens. So I want everybody to share. Adeline, thank you so much. Marcia, thank you so much. Natasha, Charles, thank you so much. Colleen, thank you so much for sharing. Everybody, I want everybody to share the program at least once or twice. So the people who did not get notification could get the notification right now on the page. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, 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 yes. We're gonna make sure that everyone gets the message right now. Everybody share it, and you could even start a watch party. When you start a watch party, your friends get to watch it as well, which is very, very important. All right. So let me go right ahead and introduce my next guest. My next guest is an artiste, right? She is from the beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? I call it like my third or fourth home, right next to Grenada. In fact, we share islands. We're one people. In fact, the whole Caribbean one people. Now, she's here today, not necessarily to show off all her vocal abilities, but she's here to share a story that changed her life forever. And she's not sitting here and being a victim over it. She is a survivor, and she's stronger today. She's here to share her story to empower people, men and women, that are going through situations like this, that have gone through situations like this, that they could overcome. I want everybody to join with me right now. Press the share button and welcome my guest. Her name is Boss Gal Judy. Jody? Is it
Hi. I like when it's a men and women because I also advocate for both men and women.
Yeah.
I like when it's a men and women.
It's
How are you?
I am great. I am great. I am great. I'm absolutely great. The only thing I'm mad at you at is that you're not wearing the riders. You're not wearing the riders. You gotta.
Oh gosh, that will change. That will change soon. Like I was telling you, I have to get some for this. I have to get some for Trinvin. I had to
Yeah.
tell Diego about these
Yeah.
headphones because they look really sharp. I like
Yeah.
them already.
You gotta get the riders. The
I
riders are
have to. I have to.
the riders are inspired by the riders here as well. But
Mm-hmm.
boss gal,
Yeah,
no,
Pascal Judy.
boss gal Judy from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yeah.
Um, an
You're
artist.
probably wondering how I get the name, right?
Yeah, that's definitely my question.
Well, actually, I was bullied in school about being bossy and always wanting to take control. So I was looking for a name for Instagram, and I always like to stand out and be different. So I was like, what can I name myself? And I don't want to use my actual name.
Right.
What can I name myself? And then I'm like, boss gal instead of bad gal. A lot of people like to say bad gal. Well, I'm not a bad gal. I'm a boss gal. So I put boss gal Judy, and then from there on, the name just stayed. A lot of people used to see me and be like, boss gal Judy, boss gal Judy. And then I got into music, and then I'm like, I should use this name as my artist name because it's a good description of who I am. So ever since the name just stayed. You know.
Yeah, yeah. From St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tell us
Yeah.
about your homeland, St. Vincent. Uh, tell us about
My
that
homeland is
island.
paradise.
Yeah,
My homeland is paradise. Like you're from the Caribbean. You should know how the Caribbean is. And um, just like other countries in the Caribbean, we have a lot of nice sites you could visit. It's tourist friendly. all of that. It's paradise. That's how I describe it. I live in paradise.
Yeah, and well, I'm from Grenada, and I
Hmm.
went to St. Vincent. I went to St. Vincent quite a few times, and what I'm so
Hmm.
impressed about is how St. Vincent is so green. St.
Oh
Vincent
yeah,
Island is so green,
we're very luscious.
very luscious, very luscious.
Yeah, very.
You know,
That's what the diamonds in the middle represent, the lusciousness of the country, the greenery,
yes, absolutely, absolutely. You know, I
Yeah.
was looking at your story. Um,
Mhm.
I was, and we spoke yesterday, and
Mhm.
I got a chance to look back at your story, and it's very, very interesting. And first of all, I have to
Right.
commend you because a lot of people, especially artists, people coming out in the business, they shy away from
Mhm.
that past, that thing it don't define them, but it happened. So they tend to
Mhm.
not talk about it because they think they will be
Mhm.
judged by it. They think that
Yeah, of
it will
course.
be a stain on them. But you decide to
Mhm.
talk about a very, very traumatic experience that happened to you at a very young age. I want us to
Yeah.
go back a little bit and tell us about these experiences or that particular experience that shaped your life.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to make a correction in
Yeah,
what I said previously, because a lot of people took offense to it, and I just want to say to the parents out there who have kids, and you try to protect your kids as much as possible, and sometimes we are not the villains. You shouldn't beat upon yourself for having to face those types of stuff, or if your kid come and tells you something, you have to try to cover it up because you feel guilty of knowing that the person who did it to he or she, as a kid, they're related to you in any way. I just want people to know that it's not your fault. It's okay for your kids to go through these kinds of stuff, and the real villain in the story is the person who did it to the kid. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. Sorry, because a lot of people was taking offense to what I said and my story. I'm not gonna call any names because I'm not on the bashing and the shaming. As you said, the show is not about bashing and shaming anybody, right?
right, right,
So, it all started as a kid. I was very young. I don't really want to call any age, but I was beneath the age of 7 when it started.
right,
With a very very close family member. He used to always like touch me inappropriately, and at the time, as a kid, you don't exactly know what is be going on, because it's not right. People not supposed to be touching you there, but then when it happens, it is be so, I don't know, it is be scary, because going through it, it was very scary. I used to be afraid of the person. Um, I not directly, but indirectly, I used to be afraid of the person because it used to happen. When I would be with him alone, and I never really got the chance to speak about it. But at a later age, I told my grandma about it. Shout out to my grandmother.
right.
She's always been there. I was adopted by my grandmother. She lived with me, and she took us, sorry, me and my other sister, and we lived with her for up until I was going into adolescent stage. Shout out to my grandmother. She took us because my mother, she's a alcoholic and a drug addict, so
Hmm.
she wasn't really fit to take care of us. And my grandma
But
stepped in, and
let's just go back a little bit. At
mhm.
growing up at that tender age, where were your mother? Where were your father? Where were your primary guardians?
Well, my mother, as I told you, she was a drug addict. Sorry if I off track a little bit. It's kind
No.
of hard, speaking
Yeah,
about everything. But let me tell
I
you,
understand.
from the stem, my mother, she was very unfit as a parent. She was a drug addict and alcoholic at the same time. She was addicted to drugs and alcohol and stuff. So my father got full custody of us, but
Right.
only because my grandmother was in the picture, and she was able to adopt us and, you know, take full responsibility of us. My father, he went away when we were very young to the States. So, you know, I only really ever knew my grandma as the mother and father figure in my life, because despite that I knew my daddy was, you know, there, I never really had a bond with him. It was always my grandmother. Up until today, if I have a problem, I call my grandmother. If you know I'm going through something, my grandma. She's always the one to be there for me. So she
Right.
took us, and, you know, she ended up, even up until talking about this whole scenario, she felt hurt because she was like, you know, why I didn't say anything. And I was like, it's not your fault. You don't have to feel bad. Is the real villain is the person who did it to me,
Did it.
not you. You know, because she felt really bad, and I told her it's not her. And she, you know, she always been there. My mother, growing up as a kid, I she used to come and visit us, and the only memory I really had of my mother is being an alcoholic. You know, she's always high, she's always drunk, she smells like cigarettes, she smells like rum, she's always drinking. You know, and it at the time it was very it was surprising to me, because all my grandma used to say is that that's your mother. And I
Right.
could remember at one point she came to visit me and my sister at my grandma's home. And I tried to run out behind her, because, you know, my grandmother said that that's your mother. And in my head, your mother is supposed to be, you know, despite I was young, I knew that a mother figure is supposed to be a mother, you know. So I ended
Right.
up, and she was leaving, and I ran out behind her, and she started to quarrel with me and be like, go, don't follow me. And, you know, from there on, I always had this kind of, I never looked at her the same. You know, I never really had a bond with her. I never looked at her the same after that day when I ran out behind her as a kid, and she you know, she basically shunned me. So
Yeah.
I never had a bond with her. When it comes to the sexual abuse, this person was very, very close. Well, I actually, it's two people. Two people sexually abused me as a kid. One, he actually lived under the same roof as me, and
Was he a
he
blood?
never really,
Was he a blood relative?
no, he wasn't blood related. He
Okay.
was indirectly blood, more like a step,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't want
Right.
to bash anybody, I don't want to shame anybody. The person is actually
Right.
dead.
And we're not gonna call any names.
Yeah, names, yeah.
No, so
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, the person is actually dead now, right? So what he used to do is, like, he used to touch me on my breast, on my privates and stuff. And, you know, he used to touch me, and then he used to, like, give me stuff like food, and he used to give me, like, snacks and those kinds of stuff. The only thing he never gave me was money. He used to give me, like, food and snacks and stuff, and, you know, be like, hey. And he had a whole nickname for me and all that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
like I told you, at the time, I didn't know what it was, but I know that I was scared, and I know that it was inappropriate. But then it's not until I got older when I actually look back and I realized, like, you know, when I started to hit, not even adolescent stage, when I became 10 years old, 11 years old, is when I started to realize that that wasn't right. And I still didn't say anything, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt as though, you know, it happened so many years ago. The person is was actually also dead already, and, you know, I didn't see the need. Another time when I actually felt like, when I knew it was sexual abuse is when I
Right.
was 7, right? Um, a guy, he was, I wouldn't say well, I would describe him as a family friend, more like an in-law to my
Right.
family.
Right.
And I was in the house, and I think I was sleeping. Well, I don't think I know I was sleeping. I was sleeping, and then I felt somebody touching on me, and and then I was like, nah, this ain't right. And I woke up because I normally at the time when I was sleep, I used to sleepwalk and stuff. So like I used to sleep, and it real hard to wake me up. So
Right.
it's so inappropriate that I actually woke up immediately. And when I woke up, the person was reaching for my underwear, trying to take off my underwear. And he did what he had to do. I don't want to talk about it in details. We all know how
Right.
sexual molestation does go. And he did that, and then I didn't say anything because I was so scared. Like, and I'm pleading to people, when these things happen to you, if even people don't believe you, speak out about it, because there's people who would. And I know, now that I know, at the time, if I had told my grandma, she would have believed me.
Right.
Then I would have told her. But as a kid, you're scared. You alone going through what you're going through. You have all these thoughts. You feel like you're alone.
Yeah.
But like I say, don't ever feel like that. If after you speak and then it goes under the rug, then you know you could feel free to feel like that, and feel free to play the victim,
Let's take a
right?
pin, let's take a pin right there, guys. We're talking here with Boss Gal. She's telling her story as to what happened to her at a very tender age. Now, we're gonna. I mean, this story has a lot of turns and ups and downs. I want you guys to just pay attention and keep just follow us along this story, because I think at the end of it, what you would get is the narrative of one, what parents should do when they're told that their child, or boy or girl, has been somewhat touched, or when when a child come to them, and also understanding children behavior, because you,
Mhm.
a child sometimes will not always want to come and talk about things like that, but if you have that kind of bond with your child, you will know if their behavior change.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
might start doing certain things or not doing certain things, rebelling. And I've seen a lot of
Mhm.
stories in the past where we have kids who have been somehow, sexually assaulted. They go to school and they start a fight and cause all kind of problems
Mhm.
because they're yearning for that attention. So it's good to understand.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we bring this type of stories here, so you guys could identify and see. All
Mhm.
right. And as parents, as we are, a lot of us are, we could learn from this situation. So that's one of the reasons why Boss Gal is here to share her story. So follow us. So Boss Gal,
Yeah.
you felt like at that point in time, you felt like the people or the adults who were supposed to be there for you sort of
Yeah.
failed you, right? But you were
Yeah.
closer with your father. Have you what was preventing you from dropping him, like giving him a hint or talking to him about it? What was the
Well,
problem there?
um, he was in the state. He was in Canada, like
Right.
I told you,
Yeah.
and even though I would have wanted to say something, you always have that mental battle going on inside your mind, where you have two minds, and you're always, questioning yourself. And I like how you say that parents should be aware of signs of your what your kids are showing you, because I don't really speak about this,
Right.
but as a kid, I used to touch my cousin, sexually. I used to touch my cousin. And like I said, I didn't know what was going on at the time when I used to do it. But now that I'm older, I see what was actually going on. And sometimes my grandmother used to catch me and beat me and be like, "Where you getting them kind of things from? Why are you doing these kinds of things to your cousin?" And she wasn't taking heed of the signs. So I like how you say that parents should be aware of the signs and the signals that your kids are giving you when going through these kinds of things. And
Absolutely. So
I
stick a pin right there. Stick a pin right there because you just mentioned something that I think is important that we exponent a little bit on. You said
mhm,
that you used to do the same thing to your cousin, right?
mhm. And the only reason why I have a memory of it is because I was beaten for it. My grandma used to beat me, you
Right.
know, and she knew that it wasn't something good. And Caribbean parents, we beat we beat when we know it's not right. And the only reason why I have a memory of it is because I was beaten for it. And now that I think back about it and I could put the figures together, is when I actually really know what was happening. And she ain't aware of them kinds of things at the time. She never really dig deep to find out what was the root of it or what was causing it. Or she knew that I'm doing this thing. She thought it was probably because of movies and stuff. But it takes more than movies and stuff for you to actually be doing these kinds of things. And I always tell people, sex is like a drug. The earlier you know about it, the more you're gonna wanna, explore it. And once you are touched as a kid, it changes your whole view on sexuality. It changes your whole view on how you look at your body. You're aware of your sexual organs, your reproductive organs, as which we call it in school, at a very young age, and you want to explore it. Like with the whole scenario that was going on with R. Kelly, and people started to bash him, and I'm not justifying what he's doing, but if you really dig deeper on a psychological pattern, he was abused as a kid. And like I said, when you know about sexual activities at a very young age, the more you get it, the more you want it. And I'm glad that I'm not a psychological case when it comes to sexual activities, because that's what mostly happens when you go through these things as a kid. But you have to look at it. When you are sexually abused, sex is like a drug. You're gonna want to explore more. And they say that he used to hold girls hostage, and he used to rape them, and he used to basically find pleasure in these types of things. And you'll never really actually know what somebody is getting these kinds of stuff until you find the root of the problem. So my advice to people: don't be quick to judge, and don't be quick to shun your kid off if they come and tell you about these kinds of things, or if you see them acting a certain way. I plead with you: just find the root of the problem and deal with it. Because the more you try to sweep it under the rug, or the more you shun it off, is the worse it's gonna come, and the more victims we're gonna have, the more rapists. Probably the person who did it to me, they were raped as a kid, because people only look at sexual abuse that is being thrown against women, but men are sexually abused also. Men facing abuse also, and we as society, we tend to look at it as, oh, you a man, you supposed to this and that. But these things tamper with the mental, and it creates a psychological pattern. Psychology is something that I wanted to do because I find it very fascinating. It teaches us how to trace back, but that's besides the point. Parents, just listen to your kids, whether it's a boy or a girl. Just listen. Don't be quick to judge, or don't be quick to shun it under. Just listen to your kids,
Right.
because sometimes they behave rebellious. They do all these things, and you never really know the root of the problem unless you sit down with them and have a firm conversation with them.
And you're
you
so
know
right about this, right? And
yeah.
I want to go through a little bit of this particular question statement that you raised here because I remember in the past, about sometime last year, we had a young man on the program where
Mhm.
he was molested as a child, and when he was at an adult, he molested a child. So he was molested, and
Wow.
then he in turn turned around and molest somebody else. So
Exactly.
he
You
came on
see.
the program. He came on the program, and he's now a pastor, by the way. So he came on the
Oh
program there,
wow.
and he was saying, and one of the things that that was the most powerful thing that he said was that
Hmm.
hurt people, and then you need to
Exactly.
understand the story, right? Uh,
Hmm.
and 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 I get it. I understood where he was coming from. Although I'm not just
Yeah.
you cannot justify the
You
act of
can't justify exactly.
when it was being done to you.
Yeah.
You felt like part of your freedom was taken away, right?
Hmm.
And then you in turn put yourself in the position where you taking away someone else's freedom, uh,
Freedom, yeah.
and
And unknowingly too.
unknowingly exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a psychological pattern that needs to be broken, and
Broken, yeah.
I think that unless it is dealt with, some way,
Hmm.
some shape or form, it will kind of
Continue.
continue, right?
Hmm.
What have you done and could you associate or could you understand what happened to you? Could you see it now because you've done it? Could you see it now from that
Hmm.
person perspective as to they like
Yeah.
why they did what they did? Have you ever brought yourself to
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, I actually did because like I told you, the whole scenario with R. Kelly.
Right.
He did all he victimized all these girls and he did all these things to all these girls, and the first thing that people could say is, oh, he this, he that, he whatever. You know, we quick to tear down people. We don't really try to find the root of the problem. And what the pastor said is so true. Like I told you, I looked at this from all sorts of angles, and sex is like a drug. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you smoke weed. The weed is you know, you get a height from the weed and then you feel like you want something bigger. You want something better. And these people, they tend to look for pleasure in miraculous ways. And sometimes people use the word miraculous in a good way. But miraculous could come in any form of way. And like they do people stuff and rape. They when somebody them not to do something and they find pleasure in still doing it. It's like a different form of pleasing your sexual desires.
Yeah.
And people don't look at it from a psychological pattern. They look at it from a judgmental pattern. Like I always say, people quick to play judge and jury and they don't actually try to find the source of the problem. Because in court, the best story wins. Not so much who is the actual right one and who is the wrong one. It's who has the better lawyer, who has the better story. So sometimes we quick to tear down people and we quick to judge and we quick to do all these things. But it's actually is more to the story than the actual. Like my grandma used to say, is more to the martyr than the pistol or something. So she used to say
Yeah.
we have to come together and find a solution rather than trying to cut down the tree before it even grow.
Yeah.
And as black people, I'm not being racist or anything, but I think sometimes black people are too angry and too quick to be aggressive.
Right. I
Like my father used to always, huh?
no, I was saying I wanted to center back the conversation, but go ahead and finish make your point.
Yeah, like my father used to always say after he would beat us, because I used to get abused from my father also. You know, he after he would beat us up, he would sit us down around the table and he would be like, "Oh, as black people, we're quick to beat up on our kids and we're quick to do all these things, but we don't sit down and we don't find a solution. We don't come together as a family." And in my head, I used to be like, "But you know all these things and you're still not applying it.
Right.
So let's not just talk about it, but let's just apply it into our everyday lives. Let's try to, be a part of the solution and not just the problem. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people talk, but nobody try to do something about it. Nobody try to help the situation. You know?
At what point of your life did you feel
Mhm.
comfortable to talk about what happened to you as a child?
Well, publicly now, publicly now, but before I used to. I was very vulnerable as a result of what happened to me. I was vulnerable to men that will come into my life. So normally, whenever I would get intimate with a guy, automatically I used to talk about it because I used to feel the kind of love that I had longed for from my father.
Right.
So I used to talk about it with guys that I would get intimate with, and up until now publicly, yeah, cause like when I mentioned that I used to touch my cousin, I never told anybody that. I
Hmm.
never spoke about that with anybody, not even with people that I was with previously. But now, like I said, we need to find solutions to a problem rather than just talking about we want the world to change and we want this to happen and we're not doing anything about it. So this is just my 2 cents on how I could help. Cause we can one hand can't clap. I
Right.
can't just ups and be like, I wanna change this cycle. I wanna help people to come out of that kind of trauma, because it's a trauma that lives with you for years.
Right.
You don't just wake up one day and be like, I'm done with that. I'm over that. I'm healed from that. It doesn't happen like that. Up until last night, I had nightmares. I couldn't sleep. My boyfriend had to hold me like a baby for me to fall asleep because we had a conversation last night and it brought back memories. Whenever those memories would come back, I would have like trauma. I would have a traumatic journey down to the path that I was before.
Right.
So when these things happen to you, you don't just heal from it. We would pretend to the world that we progressive and we all that, but behind closed doors, it's all kind of depression and anxiety. You begin to doubt yourself. All these kinds of things happen to you,
Right.
and to people out there that go through depression and anxiety and stuff. And let me tell you, you're not alone.
Right.
And
I know the depression. How when the depression kicks in, we had so many guests that came
mhm,
on.
mhm,
How how has this whole episode, right, affected
mhm.
you in terms of finding love, or in terms of being intimate, in terms of building that trust, in terms of being committed and being in a committed relationship? How has it affected you?
Well, actually, is something that I always longed for. Being loved and being appreciated, and being, when you face an abuse as a woman, when you face an abuse from men, so much so the same with men. When you face abuse, it's not until now that I'm learning that relationships aren't always perfect, and because you lack it at a certain age, you
Right.
grow up and you think that everything is supposed to go good. Like, yeah, I've been through this, and this, I told this one my story, and he should treat me a certain way. It's not always like that. And it's not until now that I realize that everything can't always go your way. Because when you go through these things, you long for a love and you long for that affection. And the minute you don't get it, like 1% of it, you start throwing a tantrum, you start feeling like the world is falling apart.
Right.
And on the other half, there's people who take advantage of your vulnerability. And I have faced in situations where men would take advantage of me. Because, like I said, in the past, I used to, the minute I feel like, we have a connection, it don't even have to be real. I would tell you my story, and men used to take advantage of that. And I do self evaluation every day, and I used to always tell myself, after relationships of getting hurt and getting abused, I told myself, like, this is not it. I told myself that I deserve better, not because I went through this or I went through that. And it's because of stories like what I'm telling you now is what made me realize that, I don't deserve that kind of love. And
Right.
that's why I love the internet, because when you're on the internet, you're connected to all sorts of people, you're connected to all sorts of stories, and you get motivation in different ways. So that's why I decided to share my story, because I could motivate somebody who's probably going through the same thing,
And,
you know?
and you did use your platform to come out and speak about it.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories from past guests on this program that spoke
Mhm.
about that they, after they go through that type of traumatic experience, they
Mhm.
just don't feel love. They don't value sex. Say, for instance, sex, right? They don't
Mhm.
value that love. So a lot of my previous guests, they, because they went through that traumatic experience, they became very promiscuous. So they
Right.
don't care about it. Sex is just like just whatever. Um,
Mhm.
did you ever got to that point where you didn't value, or you didn't really understand the power of sexuality and
Yes.
love, and how did
Yes.
you cross over, or how
Mhm.
did you mitigate to
Mhm.
get to that different mindset?
Well, actually, I was in positions where, well, I want to say that I didn't value sex, because I'm a spiritual person, and from
Right,
ever since I knew myself, I always knew that energies transfer through sex. So
right,
at the same time, I used to be skeptical of who I would sleep with, you know. But sometimes at the time, things could happen, and you could totally be lost to the situations, because sometimes men just come and they just be so sweet, they just be so convincing that you yourself sometimes don't know how to act, and you find yourself in the situation, despite that you know that you're being abused, despite that you know some certain things aren't supposed to be happening. You would have already feel some type of connection and some type of love for the person. And a lot of people have sex as just a pleasurable activity. But sex is much more deeper than pleasure. When you have sex with a person, their energies they automatically transfer that to you. And if that person energies ain't right, and it won't sit well with you. Sometimes you find yourself in certain problems, in certain scenarios. You find yourself being troubled, having anxiety, having depression. You have to check. You have to check yourself. You have to self evaluate and know if this is right for you, or it's just like if you go to a doctor to ask them if the medicine is right for you. You have to self evaluate and know if certain energies is connecting with you, and know if certain people, because a lot of people, they come into your life and they don't always mean well. They don't always have your best interest at heart.
right.
Men could be, huh?
No, I'm saying that's very true. That
Yeah, a woman could be jealous of you as much as a man would be jealous of you. Not only because they're jealous of you for their own reasons, but because you probably have something that they want themselves, or you probably doing something that they wish they could be doing. And sometimes when that energy transfer to you, you find yourself losing a job, losing a house, losing a car, losing this, losing your family. But for you sometimes don't even know is who you surround yourself with. That's why I always tell people, be aware of who you surround yourself with. As simple as your friends, as simple as your spouse, the person you lay in bed with. All these energies connect to you. And sometimes we find ourselves in scenarios. We find ourselves, slowly deteriorating. We find ourselves being heartbroken. Sometimes you lose weight. Sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't look the same. It's the energies that you attract, the energies you have around you. And we don't necessarily sometimes connect with our spiritual selves. And some people think that you have to be holy and solely to be connected to God. You don't have to. It's the simplest things you do connects you with God. People would watch me, they would watch my piercings, they would watch my personal appearance, and they would swear that I'm in the world and I'm, you know, living the life. But in my spare time, I spiritually connect myself with God, and I do all these things. And sometimes as humans we have to self-evaluate. I tell people this all the time. You have to sit down and look at your life from an outer perspective and be like, am I living the good life? Am I actually living the good life? Because some people, they they have on fancy hair, they have on fancy makeup, fancy lipstick, fancy this, fancy that. And when you look at their inner appearance, it's ugly.
Yeah.
It don't have no space on earth. Like it's just there. I look at life as a movie. There's the main actors and there's the side cast who just fills the movie. Do you want to be the main actor who is starring in the movie, or do you just want to be the side actors on the sideline who just there to fill out the spaces of the movie to make it look like it's an actual movie? And life is like a movie. There's the main actors and there's the people who just live for living sake. The people who just, they put on a costume and they go out and they live to impress. But
Yeah.
life is not always living. It's not about living to impress. It's about living to be, you know, acceptable for yourself and God.
Yeah.
And people would watch me and people would judge and be like, "Oh, she piercing." Da, 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 da. Your body is the temple, yes, but I always say it's always it's within you. It's within you.
Yeah,
Your inner appearance matters.
you made a very valid point as it relates to um, the outer appearance versus the inner appearance, your heart, right? Some people would
Mhm.
look at you and they would misjudge, and even people would hear your story, and
Mhm.
before hearing your story, they would judge you. They would see someone acting a certain way or doing a certain thing, and
Yeah.
immediately they would say, okay, well, she crazy or she mad or whatever the case is. But when you take a deeper look and you look deeper down inside and you piece together everything, you get to understand why the person acting the way they acting, why the
Yeah.
person doing the thing that they're doing. And a lot of people mask. I see this so much, right?
Mhm.
You see some people
Mhm.
sometimes, especially on social media. You guys probably know a few of
Yeah.
them. They are
Mhm.
so they would snap at everything. They would curse everybody out. They would just they
Yeah.
just crave that attention. And you ask yourself,
Mhm.
why is this person like that, right? And,
That,
and
yes.
before you judge them, you have to understand um,
Mhm.
they probably have a deficit some point in
Yeah,
time. And it's not that it's bad, it's just that you have to understand the story. So we give
for sure.
everybody the opportunity to share their story.
Mhm.
I think this is why the platform was created. And
Yeah, and I absolutely love.
you go into this at a very early stage in life where it's a very traumatic thing for any young girl or boy to go through and live into it. And
Mhm.
you are like you're very flamboyant, you are
Mhm.
bright, you are doing your thing, and people might
Mhm.
judge you. You have your piercing, and people might say, "Oh, well, she this and she that and the other," but they don't
Mhm.
understand the story. And
Mhm.
I think that there's a lot of takeaway that we could get from even a lot of the things that you're saying here.
Yeah.
When you speak to, or if you get an opportunity to speak to young girls and boys, what are some of the things that you want to translate to them?
Honestly, I would tell them to live for themselves, not just live for themselves, meaning that the glitter and the glam and the this and the that, but just live for yourself in an illuminated way. Meaning, if you do something, it makes you truly happy.
Right.
Because sometimes you put on a clothes or you put on an outfit and it's so uncomfortable, and you would stay the whole night in that outfit because you feel like, yeah, boy, people liking the outfit, and it's the look of the world. But if somebody come and they have hair on the arm, under the arm, they have hair on the foot, they have this on, it's they feel comfortable, but the world would judge them.
Yeah.
The world will look at them as, oh, she can't go shave she can't go shave she foot, she can't go put your hair better, but that's how the person feels comfortable. And
Right.
I advise people like,
Yeah, I think you're getting a call. We're live here on Ride Along, guys, and it's an important conversation to have. It's an important conversation to have, and I think in every part of what she's saying, there are certain pieces that we could take, that we could extract, and look and see how we ourselves judge other people's story without really understanding their struggle. Right? We judge people's success, and we judge people's drive, and some people are more, anxious to succeed, and some people are not. People are more laid back. Some people are more relaxed. Why? Right? It's all about their story. Their story. Look back, and then you would understand. You're back with us, boss gal.
Yeah. I
Right.
actually declined the call. I'll take the call after.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. And
Yeah.
I think that I mean this program is not specifically to, as we said, to bash the people who have done you wrong at that at a young age, but more
Yeah.
so to show that you were never the victim.
Yeah.
You were never the victim. You are
Mhm.
a survivor, and you are
Yeah.
using that strength to empower others. And we
Mhm.
are not perfect in life. We all went through things, did things that when we look back at it, a lot of us are not very proud of it.
Exactly.
But I think the vision
Exactly.
is we want to do better for ourselves. We want to do better.
Yeah.
We want to do more. And I think
For sure.
the takeaway from the program here, that is the takeaway from the program here today. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you opportunity to speak directly to the audience and sum up a little bit here about the
Mhm.
empowerment, the things that some of the things that they could take away from your life experience that they could
Mhm.
input into their own life, and see
Mhm.
how they could make things better for them if they go into a situation, if they went through a situation like you went through.
Yeah. Well, I always advise people that are going through traumatic problems and stuff, find a way to channel your problems, find a way to put it out positively and in an artistic way. Because I'm an artistic person and I find ways to put out my problems artistically. Like I do music, I'm an artist. You could check me out on YouTube, Boss Gal Judy. And I find artistic ways of expressing myself. And my piercings is a symbol of how I express myself because I'm a piercing artist and I did my piercings. I did the septum piercing, I did it, my lip piercing. I did all my piercings, and it's a way that I would release my stress. And not some people tend to cut up their hands. They tend to sometimes kill themselves. They tend to do all these hurtful things to themselves, and sometimes it's not worth it because you kill yourself, you're going to happen. You're going hell, or you probably just there dead. It's all kind of repercussions. So I would pierce myself, and after that, it's how I release my stress. Like some people turn to rum, some people turn to drugs, which I don't advise because as much as it's releasing, sometimes it does not solve the problem. It actually creates more room for negativity to enter the problem because when you drink, it gets you all hyper, and if you going through uh, a traumatic situation, you're gonna act so, how to put it, you're gonna act out, and it's not the best look at all. Like if you're sad when you drink, you start crying. If you're angry when you drink, you start to be violent. All these things. Um, I don't recommend people to smoke, but whenever I would smoke weed, I would be calm. I am not advising this to anybody, but if that is your go-to medicine, then you could, but I'm not advising it to anybody. Please don't take me out of context. But what
Right.
I'm just saying this to say that wherever you find comforting in a positive way, stream your talent to that. Sometimes when I smoke, I write the best songs. Sometimes when I do my piercings, is the best piercing. I'm a piercing artist. That's how I even found my profession, through my pain. And I
Mm.
have a piercing business right now that makes money for me. You know, I was in a financial position at once, and I was like, I don't have an education. It's hard to even get an education after, because it's so frustrating, and I'm not the best person on book and pencil. I'm good in English and stuff, but when it comes to maths, I'm not the best person, and it's okay. But
Right.
we all can't be the same. Some of us are talented skillfully. You know, we could do carpentry, we could do mechanics, we could do all these things. So we can't all be the same. So I was so financially frustrated that I was like, I don't have a job, I don't have the qualifications. I fell into depression, I fell into anxiety. And thanks to my boyfriend that I have now, I feel like God sent him. Like whenever I would fall into these types of states, he's the only one that could help me out of these kinds of stuff. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just live in an out, and I don't know. I don't have a job. I don't have no money. I don't, and I was depending on him at the time, and
Right.
he came, and he comforted me, and he was like, find something that you could do. You say you like makeup, because I did makeup before, but it's not really my passion. It's not something that I actually like doing. So he was mentioning all these things to me. He said, "You like this, you like that. You could probably invest in that. I could help you invest in this. I could help you invest in that." And I'm like, this is gonna be so hard. And then I
Yeah.
sit down, and I'm like, "But I could do piercings. I should open a piercing business. I like jewelry. I like all these stuff." So I went to him now, and I said, I could start doing piercings and stuff. And he was like, there you go. And then I came up with a whole idea, a whole business plan. And sometimes we have to take time to think. We have to take time to get to know ourselves. Sometimes
Yeah.
we don't always
And
know ourselves.
that's a good point. And seeking out a specific talent that
Mhm.
you have. Listen, we're coming around that time to wrap up, and again,
Mhm.
I hope that everyone got a chance to hear the story, and not feel that victim, not feel that you
Mhm.
are a victim. You are not a victim. You're a survivor, and you prove that
Yeah.
also well. Don't let the past define you. Understand your
Yeah.
past, but don't let it. You are not that. All right. You might
Mhm.
have was sexually abused at some point in time, but you are not that. You get past that, and that wouldn't define your entire life or create your
Yeah.
entire life. You get move past that. But listen, I gotta say thank you for jumping on with us.
Yeah.
We got to jump to the news and wrap up for tonight. But I encourage
Yes.
everyone to check you out on YouTube, and also check out your music. If you could just give us those information, because I know it represents you as well. How could people get in touch with
Yeah.
you if they want to listen to your music, or even follow some of the positive things that you're doing right now?
Well, Boss Gal Judy on any platform. If you type in Boss Gal Judy on Google, also you can find me. So Boss Gal Judy on Instagram, Boss Gal Judy on Facebook, Boss Gal Judy on YouTube, Boss Gal Judy on SoundCloud, and just look out for me, because um I do music, and I'm looking to step it up a notch.
Right.
I'm looking to step it up. I have different music coming for different topics. I have it coming. So just look out for me, Boss Gal Judy. I want to encourage everybody to just be their true selves, and I want to encourage everybody to just live the good life, because we say we live in the good life, but we ain't actually living the good life. And
Yeah.
listen, parents, listen to your kid. You
Yeah.
know, build a relationship with them in a way that they will feel comfortable coming to you with anything. And yeah, basically,
Yeah. Listen,
basically,
Pascal, thank you so much. for
Yeah.
chatting with us here, and we appreciate
Yeah.
you. And we're gonna continue to follow your success going forward. All right. Thanks again.
Yeah. Yeah. All
All right.
right.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, guys. So that was Boss Gal Judy sharing her story right here on the ride. And you know, there are a lot of situations that we all encounter in life. I say, life. You see, life is not a flat pattern. Life is a freaking roundabout. Right? Think about going down. Think about driving from here to Brooklyn, or if you're in the Caribbean, think about driving from Grenville to St. George's. That's life. Now, on that road from going to St. George's to Grenville, right? You had to pass over the Granite Tank, real high hills and real compression gear you have to hit in, right? But when you reach a certain part, you have some downhills, right? Some downhills, and it's kind of moving fast and not as much compression. But then you see when you reach like some like Brotgove, and the road kind of like it's smoother and it's not a lot of corners. It's just kind of flat, just smooth driving. That is life. Life has ups and downs and turns and twists, and just like the road, that's the road of life. Life is a ride along, as we say. So when you see you going through that compression, and it's rugged and it's rough, and you feel like, yo, it's difficult and it's hard, right? Just be prepared, because you know what? The smooth road coming, right? The smooth road coming. That's not the end. That's not the end. So that's how I see things. That's why I'm always happy. I'm always like, yo, 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 yeah, that's me. I'm happy. Even when I'm not going to the best times. Even when I'm not going to the best of times, sometimes I feel like, yo, but I don't want to come on today. But I say, nah. Even if it's a topic that may not encourage 1,000 people, we have to come out and do this, because that's life. That's life. That is life, right? That is life. So if you're going through difficult times right now, as a lot of us are, a lot of you might be, COVID-19, you lost family member, you lost friends, you probably have a sick member of your family due to COVID-19, you're going through financial crisis. Yeah, right. You can't afford to put money. You're not getting money enough to put food in your house. All of this stuff. I want you guys to remember something. That's life. That's life. That is the rough road. But the smooth road coming, man. The smooth road coming. Trust me when I tell you, the smooth road coming. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of our program today. I want to also say that in this year, we are talking about development. We are talking about empowerment. We are talking about business, and we want you guys to start your own business. That's the whole motivation for this year. And if we could kickstart 10 micro or small business, I think by the end of 2021, we would have done our job. So we are positioning ourselves to help you to get through the bottleneck of starting your business. The bottleneck of starting your business is funds, finances, right? A lot of people they don't have money to start it. You know, the first thing is really understanding what you like to do, right? And then, you know, a passion. Your business should be your passion, what you love to do, right? And then, you know, take it to the next level and the next level. Think about if you have to do something that you love to do, right? It's not like even a job, but you're getting paid for it. You love to do this thing, but you're getting paid for it. That's the idea. So we have this business. It's called Ride Biz, where we're giving over $1,000 US dollars to small and micro enterprises, micro businesses who have that bottleneck, right? It's actually going to be much more than $1,000. That's $1,000 cash. But at the end of at the end of it all, it might well be over $10,000 because of the things, the advice, the legal people that we're going to put you and connect you with to get your business from a thought to actual implementation. And that's what we're going to be doing. I want you guys to, I'm going to put the link at the bottom of the page, and I want you guys to click it, and it's going to take you to a WhatsApp group. We have a Zoom meeting this Thursday to explain to everyone how we are going to implement this initiative, right? How we're going to implement this initiative to get your business, get rid of the bottleneck so you can start your own business, the passion, your love, what you really like to do. So we're going to put the link there, and I want you guys to click it and join the WhatsApp group. And on Thursday at 8 p.m., come into a Zoom meeting and let us show you, let us tell you, let us bring you to the understanding how you could start your own business and how we could help you get some cash to start your business. All right. Someone did it for me, and I decided that if ever I'm in a position, I'll do it for somebody else. Don't sleep on this, right? Don't sleep on this. Join the WhatsApp group, and we're going to see you guys on the Zoom on Thursday, 8 p.m. Don't miss it. All right, guys, I got to tell you guys about this before we wrap real quick. Hey, Doug, big up yourself. Michael, big up yourself as well. The Ridealong Riders headphones, right? So this is our own business. It's the Ridealong headphone. This is our one of our line of headphones. This is the professional studio and DJ mixer headphones, and those are really, 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 really hitting the market hard. It's really, really cool. And then we just launched our other rider. This is the one that's over your ear. It doesn't go in your ear; it goes over your ear. This is so amazing. This one is one of my favorite. And then we have the one that I'm wearing right now. This is the rider. This is the rider, my favorite one. Right? So I want you guys to check out the website. It's ridersong.com. It's right there. Scrolling at the bottom. It's ridersong.com. And order a headphone. When you get a headphone, you get a free mask. The rider's mask comes with it. And don't forget that rider is inspired by you. Rider is inspired by you, the viewers. Okay? It's all about you. And this is our business that we're building as well, and it's going to be a massive business, and we'll show you how we got it. We just started this, right, out of a passion. I want you guys to follow me. We just started this out of a passion, and you're going to see how far it's going to get. So that's what we're going to teach you guys in the business forum and the Zoom meeting that we're going to be having on Thursday. All right, got a lot more, guys, we're going to be talking about over the week. What else do I have to say? What else? Okay, we got the riders, earbuds. All riders. See, all riders, all over. All right, guys, thank you so much. Check out the website at ridersong.com and order something. There's a lot of stuff on the website. Order something. Peace out, guys. Catch me tomorrow. Bye bye.
Must tremble, your enemies they must tremble. Yo, and when you roll, everything have to humble, everything have to humble. Strength, 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 strength.
Hey, I got some good news for you. Looking for a passionate immigration lawyer with experience that spans over 2 decades? Someone trusted that served immigrant families just like yours? Well, look no more. Now you can benefit from her personal and professional experience. Diane Winter Funding. Schedule a consultation now and get assistance with your immigration journey. Specialize in adjustment of status, B1 business visa, B2 visitor's visa, consular processing, deportation defense, naturalization, and more. Give us a call today at 813-815-3529. That's 813-815-3529 or online at winterimmigration.com. Attorney Diane Winter Funde. Law done differently. News card. Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. Keith Mitchell, hints at another run as political leader in the next general election constitutionally due in 2023. The Prime Minister made this announcement in a special media interview on January 8th.
I would have preferred not to have. I think there are rationales based on my own colleagues' views and general perception, and this might be the right time after the next election to hand over the reins to someone. So it looks likely, highly likely, that I will certainly run, unless, of course, I I have some health issues or physical problems, and I'm sure you recognize that I don't look too badly.
Swift reaction came in from the opposition NDC party.
Is Dr. Mitchell satisfied with his level of performance? There's none to show. His legacy is basically corrupting the institutions of this country, denuding the constitutions and the institutions of this country. Many young people has lost hope in the country, in the sense that many young people, after graduating, think about migrating, think about migration, because there's not much to look forward to, because nothing has been created. The government have not created an enabling environment so that young people can achieve and advance within this country.
This is News Card. The nightly curfew in Grenada will continue. However, it will now go into effect from 10 p.m. The curfew will continue to be lifted at 5 a.m. daily. The new time, agreed to on Monday during the weekly cabinet meeting, allowed for more time for business operation and recreational activities. However, the government continued to encourage the population to follow the protocols. Wash and sanitize your hands frequently. Maintain social and physical distancing. Wear a mask at all times in public places. Business owners and managers are also urged to ensure strict adherence to the COVID-19 protocol, which require them to maintain physical distance among patrons of their prospective establishment and keep daily log, which will facilitate prompt and effective contact tracing. In addition to the extended hours of movement, Cabinet has approved an increase in the number of individuals allowed to attend weddings, funerals, and social gatherings. The permitted number is now 20. For any number exceeding that, permission must be sought or granted. The public is also advised that the ban between commercial flights between Grenada and the United Kingdom would remain in effect at least until January 31st, 2021. Trump assumed no responsibility for what happened last Wednesday, despite telling his supporters in hours beforehand to fight like hell. Instead, speaking at the White House and later at Joint Base Andrews before departing for Texas, Trump suggested attempts by the Democrat and tech companies to rein in his dangerous rhetoric could themselves lead to violence. He falsely said that those who analyzed his remark before the deadly insurrection attempt had found no fault in them.
But I think big tech has made a terrible mistake and very, very bad for our country. And that's leading others to do the same thing. And it causes a lot of problems and a lot of danger. Big mistake. They shouldn't be doing it.
Pope Francis changed church laws on Monday to formally allow women to hold several specific roles during Mass, in a modest but rare step towards more female inclusion in the Catholic Church. In his conclusion, Francis gave women the right to act as readers and altar servers, assisting the priest during service or in the administration of communion. This is the latest breaking news for the hour. Stay tuned for more news weekdays 8 p.m. and again at 4 p.m. daily. The news is a production of Ridealong Media. See you tomorrow.